Good afternoon. I'm actually making this video on the Sunday after Thanksgiving. I don't think I've ever made a video on a Sunday. But this week, or the week that you just completed, week number 11, ended on Sunday night because of the way Thanksgiving fell. So Thanksgiving was on Thursday, which is typically the night that our assignments are due, and I just extended it out through the weekend. So it's Monday morning when you're watching this, hopefully, and we are starting a new week. So let's look at last week, which was the Thanksgiving period. You completed section 9.2 in Hawks. That section is on interest. It talks a lot about simple interest and compound interest and financing things and earning interest, drawing interest, things like that. You also completed an interest lab. I only had one person that reached out to me for any questions on the interest lab. So I'm interested to see how you guys did on that. I think that's a really good lab because there's some practical things. We all deal with interest. We all borrow money. We all have finance things. And so interest is something that's really important in everyone's life. This coming up week is a really, really weird week. It's starting on Monday and it's going to close on Thursday. So you only have 4 days. And so because of that, I have sort of shortened the assignments. So this week you're going to do the Chapter 9 review, which is the same material that you just did on Hawks last week. Chapter 9 review. Also take a matching Chapter 9 quiz. It is not proctored. You can use your notes. It's not proctored, so you'll just take the quiz. It's not proctored. It'll be your final quiz of this class. Well, that's not exactly true because we will have a review quiz for the final exam, but this will be your second unproctored quiz. And then in addition to that, I want you to go ahead and set up your proctor appointment for the final exam. I'm going to be opening up the final exam Friday, December 3rd. I'm going to let that be open the last 2 weeks of class. The reason is the proctoring centers, particularly on campus, main campus, and in Laurinburg, get really, really busy at the end of the semester. And I would love for some people that want to get a jump start on that final exam and want to take it early to go ahead and schedule their appointment early. We cannot all wait. All the Richmond Community College students cannot take their exam on December 15th. That is when it will close. So final exams are due December 15th. So I will have it open from December 3rd, which is a Friday, through Wednesday, December 15th. The reason it's a Wednesday is because that's the last day of classes. So I have more of that laid out this week in the Moodle shell, but I really encourage you to go ahead and look at your schedule and see when the earliest you feel like you can take that exam would be. I'm going to have the last 2 weeks opened up, and so you can go ahead and see what you've got to do and see how long it will take you to prepare for that exam and when you're ready to take it. Again, I'm going to give you some extra time just to make sure we're not all bombarding the Proctor Center at the same time. I thought about you this week. I cooked a lot for Thanksgiving and I cooked for a lot of people. So we actually had a pig picking on Thursday and I did baked beans and candied yams and collards and brownies. And for all of those things, I had to increase the proportions. And if you remember, I think it was the very first week we did a recipe lab where you were cooking for 2, cooking for 35, cooking for 16 people. And I was cooking for about 45 people on Thursday. So I had to triple most of my recipes. And the brownies were interesting. I used a box brownie mix, to be honest, but I wanted to double it. And so I had to measure the pan to determine how long I needed to cook it based on the one box because I was cooking 2 boxes. And so I needed to make sure that my pan, which was larger because I had double the ingredients, was appropriate for the cooking time. To be honest, should have cooked them a few more minutes. But anyway, nobody complained. But I actually used all those proportions. I had some like quarter teaspoon of nutmeg, and I had to, convert that for my yams. So those are just another thing that happened to me over Thanksgiving. The weekend had some cousins that were talking about somebody was in the hospital, and the nurses were giving them the wrong amount of medication. And so I told him, I said, oh my goodness, my students do this lab called My Grandma Weighs What? And it's all about medication and dosages and how you have to be alert and aware of what you're being given to make sure that it's appropriate for your body. So I thought of you lots of times over this past week and lots of things that we've done in this class. The last thing I'll say is I think the course evaluations for this class are open. I know you evaluated the course like in October. This is the second and final evaluation. So I would really appreciate it if you would take that evaluation. If you have any constructive criticism or any positive feedback, please write that at the very bottom. It gives you a little place to write whatever you want to write. And so I always read that and try to kind of tweak things the next semester based on what my students have said. So please take that course evaluation. I think it's up until the end of the semester, and it should pop up when you log into Moodle. It says, do you want to take the course survey now? And you can say no and just put it off, but that box will continue to show up until you take the course evaluation. And that's true for all of your classes, not just mine. So have a great week. This is a short week, remember, because you're watching this on Monday, and these assignments are due on Thursday. So it is a short week. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'll talk to you next week.